the founder, the teacher. So he realized, he discovered the truth and is able to teach. And that's why we have this religion here today, Buddhism. So out of gratitude, we must take refuge in the Buddha. And it is also to redirect our view, our objective. Why we practice for what? Why the Buddha discovered the Dhamma for what? Why the Buddha teach this for what? So what's the purpose? So the purpose is this Dhamma, because of the Dhamma, the second noble truth. So the second triple gem is the Four Noble Truths. So the Dhamma the Buddha discovered is there is suffering. There's suffering, the cause of suffering, which is our basically our craving, excessive craving, greed and hatred. And the Buddha is not pessimistic, so the Buddha gives answer, solution. So there's a cessation to craving and suffering. And the fourth one is the path leading to the cessation of this craving and suffering. So that's the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path. Since I'm on this topic, I might as well give the Dhamma talk now. So this Noble Eightfold Path, you want to talk something? Oh, okay. Okay, so this Noble Eightfold Path basically is to practice. Is to practice this Noble Eightfold Path. So the first one is the right view. Right view. Right view is basically the Four Noble Truths. So earlier we talked about the Four Noble Truths. The fourth Noble Truth is this path leading to the end of suffering, right? And the first of the Eightfold Path equals to the Four Noble Truths. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't get what I'm saying? Okay, so imagine I must have four things. Imagine there are these four mattresses here. So these are the Four Noble Truths. First, second, third, fourth. So in this fourth Noble Truth, the last one, there are eightfold paths. There are 8 strategies. There are 8 things to do. 8 things to do. So the first thing out of the 8, is to understand these Four Noble Truths. Is to understand these Four Noble Truths. Oh, why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we here? We have this birth, aging, sickness, death. We call this suffering. Not getting what you want is suffering. Associating people you don't like with suffering. Separation from people you like is also suffering. So all these are suffering. But all these are just example only. Basically, the Buddha said, whatever we use, our equipment, this mind, this matter, this cognitive function, we call this the 5 aggregates, that is suffering. Clinging to these 5 aggregates is suffering. So these 5 aggregates are this form, feeling, perception, mental formation, consciousness. All these 5 work together. You want to perceive the world, you want to see, hear, smell, think, taste, touch. You need these 5 things. So form is basically whatever sort of tangible thing form made of the 4 elements: earth, fire, wind, water, anything hard, soft, movement. So we'll talk more in meditation, 4 elements. Okay, thank you. So the water element is here. Okay, so we have the 4 elements. That's the form. Then you have feeling. Whatever we perceive, we will have feeling. Whether we like it, we find it pleasant, or we find it unpleasant, we dislike it, or we find it neutral. So the thing you see for long, you have certain feeling. You keep on staring for a while, the feeling will change. You won't have the same feeling. Or you sit here, you have certain feeling. After you sit for a while, you have a different feeling. So the feelings will change all the time. Because of this feeling, we'll talk more about that later. Then now we have perception. Perception is all the memories you try to use to cognize, to label the object. So what do you call this? Cushion, right? That's right. Yeah, so because you learned before, this is cushion. Somewhere you learned before, it's a cushion. The word or the experience, you touched it before, you seen on it before, so you know this is a cushion, right? So whatever past memory, you try to cognize and understand. The mind wants to make sense of what it is. So it's called perception. Yeah, all the labels, all the jargons, all the words, perception. And mental formation is when the thought is formed. Every time you think of something, that's mental formation. You hear what I'm saying, that's mental formation. You're thinking of something, that's mental formation. Every time, new thought forming, mental formation. And the last one, consciousness. Consciousness is basically your awareness, or basically your attention. So when you pay attention to something, for example, you're hearing what I'm saying, that's using your ear consciousness. If you're seeing your eyes, you're using your eye consciousness. So total we have 6 senses, and therefore we have 6 types of consciousness. Yeah, 6 types of consciousness: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. You're thinking. So in science, maybe in primary school, we learn 5 senses. So Buddhism, we teach about 6 senses. So 6 senses is what you imagine, what you think of the past, what you think of the future. Only you yourself can experience. I cannot experience for you. You can experience. So whatever's in your mind, that's your 6 senses. Yeah. So total, we have 6 senses. So wherever you place our attention, there will be these 5 aggregates. You look at here, there will be 5 aggregates. Got feeling, you find it nice, what you call it. So all these 5 aggregates are there. When you pay attention to your backside, you feel the cushion, there will be 5 aggregates. Now you call this a what kind of feeling, what kind of sensation, and so on. So all the 5 aggregates are there wherever we place our attention. Even our thoughts, we think of something, 5 aggregates are there. So the clinging of these 5 aggregates will lead to suffering. So how does one lead to clinging? Because we react. We react with greed or hatred. Never mind. We react with greed or hatred. Yeah? If anything nice, you find it nice, a cushion very nice, then you want some more. You have greed. So this is the reaction. We react with greed. Anything unpleasant, too hard. Then you have aversion. You react with anger. And if you find it neutral, there's another kind of reaction. We call it delusion. Delusion. You want things to remain as status quo, as it is. Like if a normal daily life, if we do not contemplate, we will think, I want to stay healthy forever. Or I want to live forever, that kind of stuff. Yeah? So this is called a kind of delusion. Our mind is not prepared for change. So it's a kind of delusion. So these are the 3 kinds of craving that will lead us to this suffering. Yeah? And so if you want to end this suffering, the 3rd noble truth, if you want to end the suffering, you need the 4th noble truth. There is a way to end the suffering. So we understand the 4 noble truths already in the first one, right view, and the second one is called right thought. So right thought is an execution. It's an execution. That means we're doing something to overcome this greed and anger. So the definition of this right thought is basically thoughts of non-greed, thoughts of non-anger. Very easy. Just do the opposite only. Sounds easy, lah. They tell you sounds. Just do the opposite. So what's the opposite of anger? Anybody know? What's the opposite of anger? You get angry, right? So what's the opposite? What's the cure for anger? Loving kindness, metta. Very good. So in our retreat, we'll focus, one aspect is on metta, loving kindness. So this is important to overcome anger. That is one facet of this craving. And what's the opposite of greed? Anybody know? Generosity. Okay, yeah, that's the one of standard answer, generosity. So like you help to do the cleaning, right? You volunteer your time, you do your chores, whatever. So it's a kind of service. It's a kind of generosity. And anyone else? Any other answer? Honesty. Okay, one of the moral values. Okay, we'll talk more about that later. Brain's getting heavy. Yeah, we'll talk louder. Okay, so in our meditation, we will be doing these impurities of the body meditation. Can you you all hear me? Can, huh? We'll be doing impurities of the body meditation, which is to understand the human physiology, to detach from the body, detach from the body, human body parts. And another meditation we are doing is actually thoughts of impermanence. Thoughts of impermanence. And we think of arising and passing. This will create detachment, non-greed. So this is part of our meditation routine. Okay, and once we have this in mind, then we have the precepts. We have the precept. We talk about honesty, right? So we have this right speech. Right speech. So not telling lies. That's honesty, not telling lies. There are 4 kinds of right speech. Don't tell lies. Don't tell harsh speech. That means we don't speak harshly. That means speak nicely. No harsh speech, no idle chatter, and no divisive speech. So important to have these 4 kinds of right speeches, because we need to find the truth. I wait for the rain to stop a while. See how it goes. Okay, so anyway, telling the truth or reaching the truth doesn't mean you have to speak facts only. If I keep telling you some facts which are not beneficial, for example, the grass is green, the sky is blue, the sun is round, water is H2O, does it benefit you in any way? Doesn't benefit you, right? These are facts, but we call this idle chatter. Anything that has no benefit also doesn't lead you to the truth. Doesn't lead you to the Dhamma, doesn't lead you to the truth. So that's why we avoid idle gossip. And harsh speech is to make you frustrated, make other party frustrated, so doesn't lead to inner peace, doesn't lead to the truth. And the 4th one is divisive speech. Also the same thing. We try to keep a harmonious environment. So this is the 4 kinds of right speech. And then we have right action. Right action. So the precepts we have: avoid killing, do not kill, do not steal, no sexual activity for 8 preceptors. So this one is to reduce greed and hatred. Reduce greed and hatred. And so if we are down here, we're supposed to have right livelihood, honest livelihood. So we do not engage in any form of cheating, and it's an honest, simple livelihood. Simple livelihood. And eventually we have the last 3: right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. These 3 things. That's for mental cultivation. Mental cultivation. So right effort means to maintain. Okay, there are 4 kinds of right effort. So earlier on we talked about thoughts of non-greed, non-hatred. So any thoughts of greed and hatred is called unskillful thoughts. Unskillful thoughts. So if a person has unskillful thoughts, we must try to reduce and try to overcome them. So this is the first kind of right effort. Second kind of right effort is, if we do not have unskillful thoughts, do not have greed and anger, then very good. Maintain that. Don't let it arise. Don't let it arise. And the third one, if let's say you do not have skillful thoughts, do not have thoughts of loving kindness, do not have generosity, do not have other kinds of virtues, then we try to develop them. Try to develop them. This is part of right effort. So every day in our routine, in our practice, it's not just about sitting. It's when we do chores, what kind of thoughts arise? Do we get frustrated? Hey, how come this person, maybe do so slow, or how come I do more than this person, something like that. So any kind of unwholesome thought arise, we try to overcome them, and we try to develop wholesome thoughts. We rejoice, okay, everybody doing their part, everybody creating merit. So we try to cultivate wholesome qualities, wholesome qualities. And the last one, if you already have skillful thoughts, then we maintain them, we perfect them. We perfect them. So this is part of right effort. So there are 4 kinds of right effort. So it's not just about sitting, it's when you do the chores, you're helping out, everyday life. So it's not just this retreat, outside this retreat also. It's not that you sit down here, then you can practice, you stand up, cannot practice anymore. No. So that's part of right effort. So it's a holistic package. You cannot say, I want to meditate only. Then afterwards you stand up and start scolding and swearing and stuff like that, telling lies. Then it's not practice anymore. So it's a package. So the Eightfold Path is represented as a wheel, Dhamma wheel. All the things are connected. All the Eightfold Spokes are connected. You cannot have one thing and cannot have the other. No such thing. You have all these together. So you need to have the right view, right thought, everything must be together. And right mindfulness, we'll talk more later. It's a very, very long topic. So in short, right mindfulness means being mindful of the impermanent nature of your body, feelings, the mind, and the Dhamma. These 4 aspects. Basically, in short, be mindful of impermanence. So that's right mindfulness. Okay, then the last one is right concentration. So in the retreat, depending on the progress, we may touch on this concentration. Usually loving kind are the 4 sublime states that we'll be doing. We'll cover this concentration. We may do breath meditation, which will also cover this concentration. We call it the jhana. So this is part of the right concentration. Okay, so this is a very short brief on the Dhamma. So it's to lead us to liberation. Escape from suffering. Overcome craving. Cease the craving. Cease suffering. So that's the idea. So there are many mundane ways to cease suffering. We talk about old age, sickness, death is suffering. If you're sick, what do you normally do? Very good, see doctor, right? So that's the mundane way of overcoming suffering, relieving suffering. See doctor, take medicine, no more pain or no more illness. So that's the mundane way of solving this suffering. So there is a spiritual way. So the spiritual way is your emotions. The process when you go and see the doctor, are you worried? No, are you paranoid? When waiting for the doctor, when queuing up to see the doctor, no, what are you feeling? So all these are the spiritual aspect. We can do not rely on external things for happiness. We ourselves internally can learn to be happy. So that's the spiritual part. External part, yes, we can do our external thing to relieve suffering, no problem. But internally we can, every moment, learn how to detach and be happy. So that's the spiritual part, the Dhamma. And the Sangha are the different types of practitioners who realize various degrees of the truth, of the Four Noble Truths. So we call this the stream enterer all the way to the Arahant. So we'll talk more after the evening chanting. So we'll brief more on the timetable later. So these are the 3 refuges. And we talk about 8 precepts. So we covered, as part of the Dhamma practice, we need to follow this right speech, right action. Right speech, right action. So basically, right speech, right action cover only 5 precepts. Only cover like 5 precepts, or maybe 4. 5 precepts. Okay, so the idea behind precepts is to train ourselves. It's not to everything don't do, A person, a coma patient in hospital, everything they don't do, right? And they can take 1 million precepts, no problem. They don't tell lies because they cannot talk, right? They're just on the life support and they don't talk, they don't do anything. You give them 1 million precepts, no problem. So that's not the idea. Yeah, the idea of the precept is to train ourselves. Yeah, using the precept as a meditation. So for example, I want to steal something. This microphone very nice. I want to steal, for example. So because I know, I observe the precept not stealing. When I want to steal the time, I know, yeah, I got this greed arise. So this part of right effort, you know, right effort. You know there's unwholesome thought arise. Then you try to, hey, don't steal. I got precept. So the precept is basically right thought. You overcome this craving with the right thought. Yeah. So if it reduces the craving, then that's the right thought. If it doesn't reduce the craving, I got precept like you still want to steal, then that's not the. You need other kinds of reflection. So if it helps you, then that's the right reflection. Yeah, right reflection, right thought. And then you have right mindfulness. You understand how craving arise, how craving cease. Yeah, how greed arise, the different states of mind, and all later on, if your mind more sensitive, you can investigate the dhammas. Okay, so basically, when you practice the precepts, the whole Eightfold Path is in motion. So you avoid and you don't want to steal. So how does a person sort of break a precept? Yeah, we observe the precept. Every night we have this asking for forgiveness from the Triple Gem. So there are transgression of the precept and there's also breaking of the precept. So like the example I gave earlier, I have an intention to steal. But because I never steal, so I never break the precept. But there is an intention. So the intention is considered transgressing the precept. Called transgressing the precept. Huh? So if you want to be very technical, that's why every day we need to do forgiveness. Because every moment we have defilement. We're creating some kind of bad karma. So we need to acknowledge it for self-improvement. It's for self-improvement, not that the Buddha will come and punish us. There's no Buddha palm come and strike us and stuff like that. No, huh? Okay, so what will happen is, how to break a precept? First, there must be an intention. I want to steal, huh? There's intention. Example, the second precept. Then, perception. I must perceive, I must know that this is a valuable object. Perception. Yeah, perception. This is a valuable object. I want to steal. Then the third criteria is you carry out the action. Either you personally carry out or you ask someone to carry out. You ask someone to carry out action. You ask someone to steal for you. Huh? Then they carry out action and then the object is stolen. The object is stolen. So once you fulfill all these criteria, then it's considered breaking the precept. Yeah, breaking the precept. So this is called breaking. So same with killing. Yeah, killing, you identify you must be a living being. You either have greed or hatred. All the precepts will either have greed or hatred. So greed will be like a person goes to a live seafood restaurant, for example. They want to eat the fresh, lobster or crab or something. You see him swimming around and you ask someone to, hey, I want this. Then somebody kill for you, right? So the chef killing for you, that is execution. Execution. And if the crab dies or lobster dies, and that's called breaking the precept. Yeah? And hatred, the same thing. Let's say down here, lots of mosquitoes, right? Lots of mosquitoes, right? So do not try to kill the mosquito. We have ways to fan it. You have the mosquito coils, and somebody even buy mosquito patch. So you do always to prevent killing the mosquito. Huh? So you practice wisdom and compassion. Wisdom and compassion. How to, how to release or capture and release the mosquito without killing the mosquito. Huh? So this is the part of the precept. Okay, then all the precepts the same. Okay, so now we cover meal time. Meal time, this Vikala Bhojana. So the meal time, you want to brief parents. Meal time, what the allowables you have afternoon? No allowables, okay. Anybody need to take medication afternoon? Huh? Okay, you brought your own afternoon stuff. Okay. Okay, so For those taking 8 precepts, there are certain allowable. So in the Thai tradition, okay, just curious, how many of you consider yourself to be Theravada Buddhist? Okay, non-Theravada Buddhist? Huh? 南传、北传还是藏传？啊？北传，Mahayana Buddhism. Okay, any Vajrayana Buddhist? 藏传佛教？没有。Okay, so we have one. So you take vegetarian. Oh, Tibetan. So okay, so it's 藏传佛教. Okay, all right. Okay, so for Theravada 8 precepts, for Theravada Buddhists, how many of you, let's say you follow Thai tradition? Okay, we have some. Any Sri Lankan follower? Burmese? No Burmese? Who? Anything one? Anything also follow lah. Okay. Alright, okay, so normally in the Thai tradition we have, or rather most Theravada tradition, we have afternoon allowables. We call these medicines. Probably 2,500 years ago in the Buddha's time, they may follow maybe certain Ayurvedic kind of system, and certain edible stuff are considered as medicine. Yeah, anything edible, they call it allowable medicines. So, for example, if a person, let's say, have low blood sugar level, and they are about to faint, then certain edible items are considered medicine, like ghee, butter, honey, sugar, molasses. These are considered medicine. And the Thai tradition, they even have cheese. So all these are considered allowables. So they are medicine only if there is a need. If you have low blood sugar, then you take this considered medicine. But if you do not have such problem, and you go and take, then the medicine become poison. Some people take too much. Okay, I don't say but no, maybe long term, maybe retreat participants or maybe monastics, a lot of them put on weight not because of the meal time, it's because of the afternoon medicine. Too much afternoon medicine become poison. Then they have all this obesity problem, high blood sugar level, high blood pressure, all those kind of stuff. So before you take any of these allowables, please reflect carefully. What's the intention of taking? If let's say your medication may cause more gastric problem, then you may need to take something. So you need to reflect before taking. So there's like a whole list, very troublesome. I don't want to name all the stuff that you need to take. So only one person taking, right? So probably you've observed 8 precepts before, so I don't have to name. Okay, so for those who have no issues, drink plain water, or you have some tea or whatever is allowable. What drinks you have?
All the beverages there is 24/7.
Yeah, okay, whatever beverages being placed by Terence, you can drink 24/7, no problem. Sweet drinks, tea, maybe the 3-in-1 stuff, you can take, no problem. So these are the allowables. But you take too much also got problem. So you limit yourself. If nothing to do, take warm water. Warm water is the best. Okay. Bed frame is allowable for those who have physiological issues. If let's say your knee got problem, you cannot kneel down on the floor, that's why you have a bed frame of the knee height, so that is okay. Alright, so I think that more or less covers all the precept. Mostly it's intention, and you try not to execute and break the precept. Any question? Yeah. Milk. In the Dhammayut tradition, milk is considered food. Yeah, milk is considered food. Yeah. So that's why the classification is subjective to different lineage. Some lineage is allowable, and some lineage is not allowable. Yeah. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Milk not allowable. Yeah. For this lineage, yeah, not allowable. Yeah. Especially the founder, yeah. He's Bante Covido, he's under Damayut, right? Yeah, yeah. So Damayut not allowable. um, okay, this is a blur line, right? So technically, depends on what kind of vegetable you use. So in the Thai tradition, sometimes in Thai forest monastery, the Meiji also cook these medicinal plants into like soup like that. Yeah? So some of the monks they also take it. So depends on your intention. If your intention is to take for these for your medicine, then it's okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay, if not, let me proceed with some of the briefing or maybe some of the introduction. Okay, no worries. Thank you.